In this video, I'm going to work through the WebView assignment. And essentially what this assignment does, it shows you how to use a client, an Android application that functions as a client, called App Client in our case, how that application can retrieve its content and functionality from a web application running under Tomcat called App Server. So at the end of the assignment, we'll have two new Eclipse projects. One is called App Client, the other one is called App Server. And so what we'll do first is we're going to create the App Server. To do that, we're going to to do this, we're basically going to carry out the same procedure that we did in the Tomcat assignment to create that Tomcat web application. This time we're going to create pretty much an identical application, but we're going to call it App Server. So let's go ahead and do that. We go into Eclipse, right-click, New Project, scroll down to Web and select Dynamic Web Project. We'll call it App Server, and I'll hit Finish on that. Under App Server, there's a Web Content folder. We'll right-click that and do New File, and that will be index.html. Go back to the web page, and I'm giving you the HTML code to use for that file. There we go, sorry. Paste that in there. By the way, this doc type here, which is XHTML Basic, is not directly supported by the tools in Eclipse. So we need to operate on this file through the ordinary text editor. Alright, so I'm going to close that. So we have that's basically it for the App Server. Now we need to create the App Client, and that is detailed in this next section. That's a little bit more complicated. Now let's go ahead and do that. Here's the App Client. This is the name of the application. It's called App Client. This is the name of the project, App Client. The name of the application is App Client, and the case in our situation, the case is important. That's uppercase A, that's uppercase C, and the package name is CSE322.appClient. In this case, we have lowercase a and c. So let's go ahead and create that. So I'm going to right click in here, New Project, and I go to the Android folder, make it an Android project. Next, project name is App Client. The build target will be Android 2.2. So in other words, that's the build target. We're building an executable that is designed for version 2.2 of the Android operating system. The application name is App Client with an uppercase C. Please make that correction. The package name is CSE322.appClient in all lowercase. The checkbox here to create the activity, App Client activity, that's good. And I'm going to hit Finish here. So here's the App Client. I'll expand that. We need to make some changes in here. The first thing we need to do is open this resource folder and then this layout folder, and we're going to edit main.xml. So if I double click that, I get the graphical layout. You see this tab down here? This is the graphical layout. I'm just going to maximize that. This is the graphical layout view of this file. Now if I click this tab over here, main.xml, I see the ordinary text view of this file, and that's what I'm going to use. So essentially what I want you to do is replace what was generated when we created the project with this new content for main.xml. So go ahead and just highlight all of that and paste on top of it. There we go. Double click that tab to restore. So that's the main.xml is done. Now the next step is to go into this Android manifest files. This is very similar. I double click that and I get this special editor for editing manifest files. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to go here to see the XML view. And although you can also modify it, probably you click this add button here and you can add an additional element. But I'm going to go through this simple view for me. And what we need to do there is to add this one line, or element. Actually, this is an XML element. The tag name is user permission. It's an empty tag, that's why it's self-closing, as you can see here. The result of adding this to the top level of the XML file results in a file that looks like this. So this is the added line right there. And I don't want you to paste in all of this, just in case some of this is different on your system. Although I doubt it is. If you follow my instructions exactly, this will be most likely identical. But just in case, we're just going to paste in this one line into, it has to be within the manifest element. It shouldn't be inside application or any of these other contexts. It should be a child of the manifest element. Let's go in there. So there's the manifest element, and I'm going to insert it in there as the first child, although the order doesn't matter. I'm going to paste that right in there. Okay. And save that, close it. Now the next thing we need to do is to open this app client activity file. This was generated by Eclipse, by the plugin running inside of Eclipse, by the Android plugin running inside of Eclipse. The Android plugin generated this as starter code for us to begin programming from. So we're going to replace that with this file here. So let's go ahead and copy that, and I'm going to paste over top. So asterisk there, I need to save. If you have errors here, that means that at some point you deviated from some of the naming that I did. Maybe the case is wrong or something like that. Also, you could have a different version of the software as well, so that would be a harder problem to identify. But anyway, this is building, and we're ready to go. Basically, at this point, we're ready to test. And so first we'll start the server, and we'll go down to run on server. So we're starting Tomcat. It's basically trivial server. We just have a static web file here, static HTML file. But as we progress, and perhaps not in this quarter, but in next quarter when I teach server programming, I'll be focusing on developing dynamic web content. So we wouldn't be working always in these static files. So Tomcat is a bit of an overkill for this particular example, but it's a foundation for developing Java-based, for developing a Java-based solution, larger, more complex solution in the future. So this works. We can retrieve this this file through any browser, and running on the local host. So this is good. This works. And now let's run the app client. So I'm going to right click that, run as Android application. This is going to start up the emulator, and it takes a while to boot up. So we're just going to wait for that. And I want you to see how long it takes to initialize. If you had the emulator running already, this would be much quicker. So each time you make a change to the application, you don't need to go through this long delay. Just that delay can be cut out. So I'm going to unlock the phone, and here's the app client. It launches it automatically, so we can return from that. This is our old application, by the way. This is our Hello application. That's the Android application that we installed in a previous activity. I'm going to launch this app client application again. So I go into my applications, and here's app client. I'll just click on that. There it is. This works, and then I'll hit return. I'm going to hold down my mouse here and drag the icon onto the desktop. I can launch this more quickly. Now let's see that this is how in fact dynamic this application is. If I go into the app server, open up this index.html file, and we'll put in, we'll change this from this works, and we're going to add something like, let's go ahead and add a button. And there it is down there. Oh, we're going to crash. Incredible. So the problem is this, I think it's this helper application doesn't know how to handle this XHTML basic. That's the problem. So I'm gonna kill that. We can keep the emulator running. That's running separately from Eclipse. Let's go ahead and start Eclipse up again. Here it is. We'll need to start Tomcat. Now before we start Tomcat, let's see the application fail. Actually, when I run app client, oh, this must be cached. This must be cached. So this the web view is retrieving this from its cache. That's interesting. Let's clear the cache and see that fails. So to do that, I will go into a menu, and then settings, and applications, manage applications, and app client. This is clear data. Force stop. Clear. This is a. Let me do clear cache. Let me see if that works. Let's clear that cache, and then let's return. And let's see if we run that again, what happens. We still have that. So basically, that cache, it's not in the client cache. Wait a minute, that's not right. Go into to the menu, settings, applications. Here it is. And I'm going to manage applications, and I'm going to go down to the browser. Let's see, the app client. Let's look at all here, and let's look at the browser. I'm going to clear the cache for the browser and see if that does the trick. I'm going to clear that cache. Good. And return. Now let's try the app client again. Still works. I don't know how to get rid of that. Alright, I'll keep working on that. But what I want to do here is in the app server, let's change what it says. Instead of saying this works, let's say that this is just say hello from app server. Let's do that. Okay, so just saving that isn't going to do anything in the application. You'll see it just says this works again. Okay, and I know it's retrieving that from some local cache on the virtual device, and I don't know how to clear that at this point. Let's go ahead and run this app server again. Look for the uh, oh, Tomcat is already running. That's why. That's the problem. Tomcat is in fact already running, and so Eclipse crashed, but it left an instance of Tomcat running, and so that's why port 8080 is not available. Let's try to shut it down. I think we can control Alt Control Delete. I think I can probably shut it down through there. And let me see the applications here. That's wouldn't be in there, right? It would not be in here, but it would be a process. Let's see, and it will be a Java process, but I don't know which one it is. So one of these Java processes is running Tomcat. Let me see. Let me look inside the server here, and let's see if we can shut it down somehow this way. I don't believe we can. We can telnet to port 8009, I believe, and type in shutdown, but that's not probably wise. So I'm going to shut this down. We're going to need to reset here, and I'll shut down Android. And so I think that we do not have Java. This must be Tomcat here. Watch it. Let's see that Tomcat is in fact running. Watch this. I'm going to go into http://localhost 8080, and it's app server. See, hello from app server. Look at that. So there is an instance of Tomcat running, but we don't have any easy access to it. But if we look at the list of processes here, that Tomcat runs within an instance of the Java virtual machine, and I only see one instance of that running here. So if we end this process, this Tomcat should now no longer be running. If we refresh, we should get a failure. Let's see. There it is. So we have successfully shut down Tomcat. So that's the problem with Eclipse. You know, we started Tomcat inside of Eclipse. Eclipse crashed on us, and it left a zombie instance of Tomcat running. All right, let's go back. Let's go ahead and run the app server again, and we're going to run on the server. And let's go ahead and start up this app client. And I'm going to do run as an Android application. It should say hello from app server. It takes a while to initialize. Basically starting an instance of the Android operating system. And here we go, unlock that. Here's our app client. Hello from app server, that's good. Now, I don't want the same problem to happen. This crashed twice on me today. So if I start editing this file, and that helper application interferes and then crashes because what I think is a conflict with this doc type, then I'm going to have to repeat that whole thing again. So I believe I have a fix for that. So I'm going to try that right now. So what I'm going to do is go into Window and look at Preferences, and under where is it? Is it General? Under General and then Editors, you have File Associations. Look at this. This is .html. The problem is when we edit this file, it has a .html extension. And these are the associated editors, the web browser and the web page editor. So here is in the HTML editor. This is locked by HTML content type text editor. I don't understand what these are, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the web page editor here, and the web browser, I'm going to remove that as well. And actually, that I didn't have to remove that. And then this is the HTML editor. Let's see, the text editor, we need that, and I think this is, we cannot remove that. Okay, let's try that. So basically what we did is we tried to edit this, and it gave us some trouble. And this time we're not getting any trouble, so maybe that I have in fact solved the problem. Let's see if it helps us. See, it doesn't do completion anymore. See, it used to help us. Oh, there it is again. There it is. Went like that, and it is. This is how it crashed. So I'm a little nervous with that, but maybe we didn't solve the problem. And I was going to put a button in there. That's what made it crash. So I do button, and I think it is in fact crashing again. Look at that. Tried to type in a button and it crashed on me. Let's we got to get that fixed. Look at this. All right. We got to go through that whole process again. Go ahead and let's kill Eclipse. It's not responding. We need to figure out how to modify that. I'm going to leave that instance of Tomcat running. I actually don't think it's an issue. So here we have it again. So if I typed in that button, let's see, when I go to edit that file, where is it? Not in App Client, it's in App Server. I right click and I open with HTML editor or the text editor. Here's the problem. We're opening with the HTML editor does not work correctly. I want to open it with the text editor. And now we go ahead and type in a button and we don't have any trouble. Okay, there we go. So we have a button and its value is OK. And we'll have an on-click event. On-click equals alert and hi. Let's see if Android can handle that. First we'll test it locally here. There it is. Oh, there's no button though. That's because Tomcat is not deploying this. We're going to need to shut down Tomcat. And Control Alt Delete Task Manager. And as you can see, Eclipse is running here. So Eclipse must have let's see, so more than one JVM here. There's two, but I think that's the one we need to kill, is that one. Let's try it. Yeah, it could crash something else. And let's see if that fails. That looks no good. Great, we got it shut down. Let's go ahead and let's run that again. and we're going to go run as run on server, and it says hello. There's a button. Actually, the button, I didn't get that right. It should look, the value doesn't go in there. I just couldn't remember how to do this. Let's have that on click on there, and we'll put this in here, click me, and we'll terminate the button here like that. Let's try that. Refresh that. So we click me, and we get the you know, that little pop-up window. That's the alert. Let's see if that works in the emulator. It might not work in the emulator. That alert function might not work. So we'll try it. What are we going to do? Run as Android application. As you can see, doing this kind of development, there's a lot of configuration potential configuration problems. So you do a lot of debugging on the configuration. So let's see, we have this, and it should run it automatically, but it doesn't. Oh, there it goes. And click me. What does it do? It doesn't do anything. So in fact, that alert doesn't work. Right? I clicked it, nothing. Okay. Let's, can I exit? Alright, let's fix that. Instead of alert, let's do something else. Let's do, just to have a little JavaScript here, we'll have a div element, and the ID is X, say. And we'll close the div element here, and we'll add some JavaScript. So this is a script, type equals text slash JavaScript, and let's close that, and let's define a function in here. Function, you know, func, we'll call it, and we will we'll get our div. So it's document dot get element by ID, and it's called X. That's our ID down here, right there. Get the element by ID X. Let's call that X, or the X div. And then on xdiv dot, what we want to do is add content to it. How do we add content to an HTML element? I just can't remember that. I'll have to look that up. Okay. So we're going to do the we're going to go to the DOM functions for an HTML element. Member functions. Let's look at the member functions. So we have HTML DOM object reference. Let's they have this general member functions of objects. The event object, HTML element object, that right there. So these, all HTML elements support these properties and support these methods. So the method I'm interested in is where we, what's this, append child, adds a new child element. Maybe it's not there. Let's look at the div. These are the DOM elements. That's what we're looking at here. Well, it must be inner. Here it is, inner HTML. So it's just it's a property, and we set it equal to something. All right. So let's go back to here, That's inner HTML. We set it to it works. So this should display it works in the web page when we click the button. First, before testing it in Android, let's test it here. So I'm going to reload that page, click that, nothing works. Something is wrong. So this here, on click equals func. I need to call the function. Let's go back here and load that again. Try it. It works. Good. Now let's test it in Android. App Client. Click me. It works. Excellent. So apparently the alert function doesn't work inside the WebView component, but the other aspects of DOM and JavaScript work correctly. So that ends the assignment. Oh, no, not quite actually. I want to do one more thing. We need to I'm going to shut down the server here. We need to commit our work into the repository. So I'll do that. I just want you all to remember to do that. So it's team, share project, and all of this is okay. And I'm going to shut this down as well. I hit the power up there, power off. And after sharing, then I still have to go back to team and I need to commit. And this all looks good. And I'm going to say completed the app client for the web view assignment. Writing that in there. Here's the icon that shows it's in the repo. We need to do the same thing for the app server. Share project. And go ahead and hit finish on that. That's going in there. And now we need to commit, team, commit. And I'm going to commit everything. That's what I recommend you do. So we completed the app server for the assignment for the web view assignment. There we go. That's in there, and that that completes the this assignment, the web view assignment.